Old guy in shed, woolly hat today, because I'm going to be doing a bit on this. I've got my heater going, well, just lit my log burner. Take a while to get any warmth in here, but it's nice just to see it there, to be honest, and crackling away. Right, I have, as you can tell, I've taken the seat off, just lifted the seat off. These beautiful panels, these are the aluminium panels I told you about, are just a quarter turn, so to say I've stripped it is not true. I've removed the air filter. Lord knows I'm going to get another one. It may be down to me taking the metal innards out and outer, getting some foam. You can buy filter foam. I'm making a filter, I don't know. We'll see how that goes. So we're now at the very beginning of this strip down. I'm going to start basically with the exhaust, pedals, and then tank. Well, actually I can lift the tank off now. That'll be just to get it out of the way, save damage. It'll be get the tank off, that's the exhaust, pedals and what have you, out of the way, footrest rather, and the brake pedal, what have you. Because I have made the decision I'm lifting the engine out of the frame. This is because I've noticed it's very oily under here and I want to just check it. But before I actually take it out of the frame, I'll be getting things like the kickstart off, taking off these covers so that I can check the crank, see if there's any end float, lift. You can get the crank in a certain chart, you can feel the big ends if if you're careful about it, etc. I do have the what's the word I'm looking for? The advantage of my daughter owning Avia Autos in Bridgend, town close to here, and she has one of these boroscopes for going down the plugs. So I'll be sending that down there and having a look inside the engine to determine whether or not it's going to get stripped. I'm hoping, touch wood, we're going to get away with that one because it feels okay. I'm fairly confident it's good. The chap who bought it off said it did run, but like I say, I'm not going to run it until I'm happy with that situation. Absolutely staggered to find. Tool pouch. Look at that. That's brilliant. I think it's the first old bike I've ever had with I don't know if it's original, but it's a little tool pouch. It's got some odd bits and pieces in here that are quite corroded, as you can see from that. Lord knows what these are. Little pin for the thing, and allegedly it's a screwdriver, and some other odds and ends in there, but I will possibly well, I don't know what I'm going to do with that, but it's just nice to find something like that here. Hey, you spend all this money and you're delighted with that. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, no, I'm crazy. It's I don't know, whatever's crazy. Something is crazy. I have the battery out, as I say. It just slides out, very easy to do. It is, I believe, pretty well knackered. Needs a little bit of watering. So I'll top it up and I will put on a little one of those recovery charges, you know, the sort of thing, what they call Optimate, we call them here. There's one of the manufacturers, something like that. You clip them on and you walk away. Just out of morbid curiosity. Right. I know the tank is disconnected, so I can lift it off. Can I? Yes, I can. Here we go. Right, I can now show you. I forgot, it's got this electric thing here, and I don't know what this is. I don't know what it does. I'll have to do some inquiring as to what this is. Is it an electric tap? Is it a pump? Is it a bird? Is it a bird? I don't know. We'll get to that later. It's not a panic. Like I say, I've got a lot of work to do. This is, I don't know how well you can see this, is the damage here done by the what do you call it, the brake fluid being spilled. There is other damage here to the paint. I am actually now thinking pretty much that I'm going to, and because the cap's in a mess, you see, if I re-chrome the cap and I put on the new seat, the new surrounds here, repaint the chassis, all looks beautiful, new exhaust, polish up the engine, and I go for the argument of paint or patina with regards to the tank, it will just look like a nice bike with a scruffy tank. So I'm kind of going along the lines of doing the tank, doing a nicer job altogether, because I'm going to need new suspension units, tidy it all up, and away we go. So, not so simple, huh guys? Right, so we go put this safely away somewhere. There we go. And we will discuss that somewhere later. Right, I'm just going to, you don't need to see me unbolt things, I don't think. Not like exhaust. I think what I'm going to do now is save some of the editing and battery life and all the rest, and save me just prattling on for no apparent reason, and swearing and cursing what have you. Well, I can feel that heat already. I really recommended get yourself a heater in your workshop. Right, oh, just as a by the way, going back to the battery, I use a dehumidifier. I think I've mentioned this in the past. The water out of a dehumidifier, perfect for batteries. It's not a problem. Little trick. There you go. I'm full of bollocks, aren't I? Anyway, there you go. So I'm going to turn off now, and then I'll turn it back on when I get so far and I've got something perhaps of interest to say. I think that's the easiest thing, don't you? Right. Yes. Yes, okay. The hell's that? It's got an old-fashioned junction box. Wow, with a little screw thing. Wow. Cool. And old-fashioned ceramic fuses. God, they're awful. But I suppose they work. Yeah, you see I'm doing it again? Starting to ramble. Starting to... Yo, just sort me fire out. Talk to you later. Okay, folks. Just the oil is black and horrible and thin. I think there's petrol in there. Yeah, and definitely petrol. But more disconcertingly, I don't know how well you can see with the camera, but this is the drain plug, and it's got signs on it. It has a magnet on it, has signs of small metallic deposits on it, but we don't know how long this has been there. I don't know how much of it is sludge. What I am going to do is put it in a cleaner container. I'm going to clean it very gently with brake fluid, not brake fluid, brake cleaner, you know, the highly toxic stuff here, but it'll degrease it gently. I'll see how much metal's in there. Okay. Always nice to know what you're dealing with. But it could just be clutch, which is bugger all. You do get these metallic bits off clutches sometimes, or gearbox. It's not necessarily the engine itself. So it's not nice to have that swishing about. Having said that, this does go into a filter housing, so the oil has come into here, got the bits through the filter into the engine, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. It's one of those. Okay, here we go. We've got I use these baking tray things, they're very good. And we just give it a spray down with this, and we see what we find underneath it. You know, this is more sludge than it is metal filings, which I'm finding extremely gratifying. Yeah, that's more sludge. Oh, that's really good news. That's really good news. Now, there is the metal bits. There is some metal bits in there.
Lots of love, Nadine, Chelsea, Anna, Lou, Lisa, Becky and Helen. This next one says, please play a song for my son Will's birthday. He is in Belfast and all of his family are in England. Please tell him how proud you are of him. And
not as much as I thought, but there is some there.
Good stuff.
Okay.
And coming up in the
now,
hour, we of course have the brilliant and beloved John.
If you wipe it off, like as you see, those bits are not wiping off easy. They're still staying there. They're the metal bits. They're the metal bits. Yeah. You see, I don't know whether you can see that. I hope you can. But you can see the little filings there. I think, judging by the colour of them, let me just... Another thing I have in my workshop, which I advise others to buy, is a magnifying glass. They're so bloody useful. This one has an extra magnification. Yeah, they're definitely metallic swarf, but I don't think they're engine components. They don't look like cast. It could be off the clutch or the, as I said, the what do you call it, the forks. I can pick it back up, look. See that? Run it through there and you can pick it back up if I just swish this down to the corner. And there it is again. Yeah, we've got a fair bit of fair bit of metal there actually. That's, I was wrong, it's not just all sludge, it is metal. Sadly I was wrong. I was hoping it was going to be more sludge than metal, but there's a lot of metal in that. When I do the crankcase check, crankshaft check, I will have a more of an inspect. I might use the boroscope into the gearbox, but I will get to see the clutch, so that will help me a lot. Okay, covers off. We've cleaned up the plug, put it back. Ignition system, get hold of the flywheel, and initially I just see if I can do it by hand. I don't put a DTI on at this point, and I'm not gonna, because there's absolutely no end float in that. There's no lift in this end of the crank at all, and it just feels really nice. Neglected, definitely neglected, but definitely very nice. So we're going to leave it alone. I'm just going to leave that alone. There's a lot of it shares the case here, and there's no shielding, no baffle here. So all this gets filled with chain lube, which is what all this is. It's all come off the chain. So it's a case of cleaning down and maybe check the clutch next, or check the clutch side, and then we'll make a decision as whether I'm going to throw some oil in it and just give it a quick start up. I'm very tempted. I'm very tempted. You have to excuse the music in the background. I'm not going to turn it on and off every time I do a clip. So there we go. I'm really pleased. It's looking good. It's looking good. Like I said before, these cases are beautifully made. Beautifully made. Very pleased. Right, crack on. Okay, here's how far I've got. As you saw, I did the other side case. I was going to take this off. I had a wrestling match with the Cotter on the kickstart. It dawned on me to actually take this off It may be a case of having to remove the pedal, silencer, and all this, which is the pedal is quite awkward to get at. So I'm kind of making the decision now to stop at this point, rig up a fuel supply. I'm going to check the compressors first. Check the carburetor, like I say, and just give it a little start up. But I want to hear if I'm into stripping the engine. So I don't want to be taking the engine out, doing all this framework, putting it back to test it. I don't want to test it while the frame's in this condition. So that's the plan of attack. I'm going to get this sorted and give it a kick up. I'll obviously turn the camera on for that, because that will be a momentous experiment, I'm sure. But I do not need a battery. Prove that. I'm not great with electrics. I don't know whether I've said that in the past, but I'm really not great with electrics. I have noticed it's got what looks like a Zener diode up the front there, which kind of dates it to that period where they became the thing to do, was to use Zener diodes. So that's where we're at. I'm not going to take that off just yet. I will be doing at some point, but just yet I'm not going to. I'm going to put the kickstart back on, jury rig a bottle, small one, give it a kick up and see how we get on. Now before I do any of that, I've got to go away and make that bottle to make a test rig. I don't want to use the actual fuel tank, because like I say, that's going to be redone. I don't want to be filling it full of fuel now. So like I say, it's a case of whoopie-doo, let's get it sorted. Cool as 10 bags. Yeah. Oh, by the way, it is lovely and warm in here.
Here you go then, Big T.